All right, so here's how you could do problem number 2 without using Excel. So the first thing that's pretty straightforward is the mode. So you just look for the highest frequency, which is 8. And so what that tells us is that the mode is 37. Actually, let's just do this. All right, then for the median. So you have to, for the median, you have to figure out how many data values you have. And the way that you determine the number of data values that you have is you add up all the frequencies. So that's going to look like 3 plus 3, I like this arrow, plus 2 plus 4 plus 8. So that's going to give us 20. So if I have 20 data values, I need to figure out where the middle of that is. So determine so that's going to be between the 10th and 11th. So there's two ways you can kind of attack this. There's option A, is you locate the 10th and 11th values from cumulative frequency. So that looks like, so we have our data, we have our frequency, and then we'll have our cumulative frequency. So let's see, 33, 3, and so our cumulative frequency at this point would be 3. Then we have our data point 34, which there are 3 of those. So that would give me 6. And I have 35, 2, which gives me 8. And then I have 36, which gives me 4, which puts me at 12. And then 37, which has frequency 8, which puts me at 20. So the 10th and 11th values occur as 36s. Because once I get to the end of all my 36s, I'll have hit the 10th and 11th. Once I get to the end of all my 35s, I'm only at 8 values in. So the 10th and 11th occur here as a 36. So this tells me that the 10th value equals 36 and that the 11th value also equals 36. And so the midpoint here between these two values is 36. So that's our median. So that was using the table to do that. If you want to do it by hand, which seems like a lot of work, but this is how you would do it. So we have 20 values. Okay. So the first 3 values are 33. So that looks like 33, 33, 33. Then I have the next 3 values are 34s. 34, 34, 34. Then the next 2 values are 35. So I've got 35, 35. Then the next 4 values are 36. So I got 36, 36, 36, 36. And then the last 8 values are 37. So from here, we see that we have, 20 values listed out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, perfect. So we have 10 on the left and 10 on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 here. And then there's another 10 over here. So that tells me that I have to take the midpoint of these two numbers. That's going to give me my median. So then the midpoint of 36 and 36, right? I mean, obviously it's 36. You could also do it this way too, the way we always compute midpoint, adding them up and dividing by 2, but you'll still get 36. So here we also see that the median is 36. So I guess this is like the by hand way, but like if you have 100 data values, that's just like, I don't know. It seems inefficient to me, but I can understand why the connection, right? Because we're so used to doing this way. So maybe the recommendation here would be maybe practice doing it both ways and then seeing how it plays into the frequencies. Actually, maybe I'll try to talk about that a little bit more right here. Okay, so the first box is here. So this is our first bin here, right? Then we have our second bin here. Then we have our third bin here. Then we have our fourth bin here. And then we have our last bin here. So we can see, right? So there's 3 of these. Yeah. Graphical representation might be off here, but okay. So up to this point, there are 3 values, right? If I go up to this point, now we have 6 values. If I go up to this point, now I've got 8 values, right? So I'm kind of like talking about going to the end of a bin, the end of these bins. And these arrows represent my cumulative frequency. So now once I get to the end of this third bin, I've got 8 values accounted for. Once I go up, now if I go up to the end of this bin, I've got 12 values accounted for. So hopefully it makes sense that the 10th and 11th values occur after 8, but before 12. So that's going to be in this bin of 36. That's how I'm thinking about it when I look at my table. So anyway, just another attempt at a representation of how I understand median. Okay, let's do the mean. So the mean, okay, the mean. Oh, we should probably write down that the median was 36, right? Okay. So now looking at the mean, I'm going to do it 2 ways before, right? So the idea here with the mean is you have to add up all your data and divide by the number of data, right? Like how many data values you have, which we know we have 20, right? So there's 2 ways to do it. One, you could take this I'll call that B just in keeping. So you could take all these guys and you could add them all up. And what would you get? I don't know. I'm going to pause the video and add it up. I'll be right back. All right, so the answer you would get for that is 711. What you do is then you take 711, your total, and you divide it by 20 because we have 20 data values. So this is the sum of all your data values. And this is the number of data values, right? So 711 divided by 20 is 35.55. And we're going to round that to 1 decimal place. I think this question, someone mentioned that they wanted 2 decimal places. 35.6. So be aware that it might want to. I can't remember how it's programmed. The other way to do that, which I think is a lot more efficient, is you can take your table So you can take your table and you can take, so this is your X right here, right? Your data is just some number X. So then you can just do X times F, right? So this is going to be 3 times 33, which equals 99. And then you're going to have 3 times 34, which equals 102. And then you'll have 2 times 35, which is 70. You have 4 times 36, which is, I want to say 144. Yeah, because 12 squared. Okay. And then you have 8 times 37, which I'm definitely getting a calculator for that one. Hopefully I didn't make any errors. Okay, so 8 times 37 is 296. And then what you can do is you can then just add all of these up. So that's going to be 99 plus 102 plus 70 plus 144 plus 296. And guess what? You get 711, right? That's the sum of all your data. So, okay, so why do they end up being the same? Let's check it out. 3 times 33, that's the same thing as adding 33 together 3 times. This is 3 times 33. 3 times 34 is the same thing as adding 34 together 3 times. So multiplication is just repeated addition. So if I add 35 together 2 times, that's the same as 2 times 35. If I add 36 together 4 times, that's the same as 4 times 36. And then my 37s, this is the same thing. If I'm adding them 8 times, that's the same thing as saying 8 times 37. So this table, I'm basically grouping them. I'm saying, okay, this was, right, this was 99. This was 102. This was 70. This was 144. And this was 296. So instead of adding them one by one in my calculator, I group them through multiplication, and then I just add up those 5 numbers instead of adding up 20 numbers. That's the justification there. So anyway, whatever, we get 711 in both instances, which is good because they better be the same. All right, and then I just have to divide by the number of data. So the number of data, so if I add these, I'm going to get 20. That's the number of data values that I have, right? The total number of data I have is the sum of the frequencies. So my mean is the sum of all my data divided by the number of data values, which is, right, the same. I'm not even, you already wrote it out, whatever. So those are the kind of the two ways that you can go about it, both by hand. That will give you the mean, median, and mode for a frequency distribution table.